So we're going to look at the word um, prophetic, and there's it's some people say they're prophetic, they have prophetic word, prophetic dreams. I believe we all may have the ability to have that ability, especially when you're dealing with the intuition. The intuition itself is um, heavily embedded into the feminine quality, something that's inside, something that's felt inside. So we're going to look at that word, and it's right here, prophetic. Prophetic, or to prophesy. It's the definition is to accurately describe or predict what will happen in the future, relating to or characteristic of a prophet or prophecy. Predictive, these are synonyms: predictive, prophetical, far-seeing, prognosis, divinatory. So having a divine revelation is somewhat what you would call prophetic. So with online there's a lot of prophetic word, and while some, I believe there's some that are just what it is. That's it's the truth. Then you might have some that's just a part of a community of just sharing prophecy. Like when it comes to um, what they call kingdom marriages. Kingdom marriages. One time I had a female, and she contacted me, and she was telling me that um, I was her she believed that I was her kingdom spouse or her kingdom husband, whatever. But me being prophetic, or having an intuition, or having a gut feeling or knowing, was that the woman, she may be somebody watching me and monitoring me on this particular platform, which you know sometimes your intuition don't lie to you. So I automatically knew that I'm not a part of this in order for you to be that to me. I don't believe in kingdom marriages. I don't believe in these things. If God want me to know something, God would speak to me. I don't need for somebody else to relay a message to me that the divine would relay to me myself. So it didn't. It only allowed me to know, that there's a game being played on this particular app, and whatever people do, that's their prerogative. But what I want to say is, you never seek to be honored by dishonorable people. If these people are dishonorable and they honor you, it's something about you that's dishonorable as well. So never seek to be honored by or accepted by people that don't accept or don't want to deal in the truth, but deal in falsehood. So no, I didn't buy that for at all. I didn't buy that a bit. And prophetic is to accurately foretell future events. To accurately foretell future events. So you have some that dictate future events, like with the time I made the video about the Simpsons, where people would say, "Oh, the Simpsons predicted the future." No, these are people that manipulate or that construct realities, and they put it into cartoon form, and then they carry it out in um, the physical world. So before there's an event that happens, they put it on display here, and then it's carried out in the real world. Sometimes these are just dictations. This is something that dictate events. It's much different from prophetic. Prophetic is you getting a divine feel and able to tell, yo, this is what's about to happen, or this is about to happen because I seen it. I seen it in a dream, or I seen this before, like deja vu, or some things you can't even explain because the way that it happens, you can't even detail it. But there's actual dreams that predict certain events that's going to transpire, and some of us might have that ability. Like for instance, in March 19th, 2019, I made a prediction. I said that, yo, man, the world is about to. There's a feel. Can't you feel it? You don't feel it in the moon. You don't feel it in the stars. You don't feel it on the planet. None of this stuff is the same no more. Nothing's going to be the same no more. You can't feel it? So it's right here. Y'all notice that the sun ain't the same no more? The moon ain't the same no more? Even the stars ain't the same no more. Planet ain't the same no more. Nothing's the same no more. Why y'all distracted by your Illuminati entertainment, or whatever you want to call them? They're the unseen hand. Why y'all distracted? There's a lot of shit on in the universe that you don't even have no clue or idea of why it's happening. But some of us know, and those that know, we're obligated to tell people that don't know. So y'all just pay attention, man. Y'all just watch the signs. Y'all watch the signs because it's right in front of your face and y'all can't see it. And it's gonna be popping. It's gonna be popping. I just gotta pay attention to the signs. That's all. And I listen to like a lot of prophetic word online, and as a person that has this esteem and this veneration for God, it doesn't matter what form the God comes in. You have this esteem and this veneration. So it could be Christians that deliver you a prophetic word. It could be Israelites that say, this is about to happen, and you listen because you understand that there's no way to bottle or box in God. God is for everybody. And if that's what it is that they're associated with, that's delivering you a message from God, then let me hear. Let me hear. So it's just been an ongoing thing with, being prophetic and receiving prophetic messages. So it's noted that you check them out, and the people see you checking them out. And like I said, me, maybe because of a certain bloodline that's here, and a lot of people might know about it. They might try to keep you from reaching your full potential. Like with my family, like I always tell you, with my whole family, they all just went this way. I got two brothers. Both of them went this way. They don't talk to me. They don't converse with me. But they first and foremost, they're not like me. So I don't expect them to. It's not like it's any kind of love loss. They've been wicked their whole life. You know, they've been wicked. You know, so for you to turn on me, that's no big deal. Your mother, for them to get to your mother and get your mother to turn on you, that's no big deal. She turned on my father. My father was sick. If it wasn't for me, my father would have died alone because she completely abandoned him and went to chase or follow or pursue drugs. Maybe she couldn't handle it, or maybe it was freedom for her. Who knows? But that's what she did. And you know, my daughter, even with my daughter, this is my daughter up here. That's not my daughter. That's my me and my baby mother. That's her child. So she has her DNA in her as well. So where you might have righteousness and the truth, you still have this other gene inside of you. But she's going to be a giant because the children of God give birth to giants. So she's going to be a giant. She's already like 6'5". She's 15. And she's going to continue to grow. But yeah, she's a giant. But she has my gene in her. And before my father passed, he told me, like, you know, yo, you should wear condoms. Like, you know, wear condoms. Maybe he had a prophetic dream that the people was going to try to, you know, get me something to happen to me. But he had a prophetic dream. He called me into the room and he said, I had 3 conversations with God. And he never broke down the conversation, but he told me, like, yo, use prophylactics. You know, use prophylactics. And at that time, I didn't even know what prophylactics was, but he had dreams. My other 2 dreams he might have had about my other 2 brothers. But because they wasn't amongst them, they never got the message. This is almost like the story with Esau and Jacob, where the father said, yo, come here, let me tell you something. And he gave him the wisdom. He gave him the blessing. But my father gave me the blessing, like, yo, use condoms. But without knowing that, you know, once you have a child, the sickness of this world can get into your child as well. So you stop that with you, because it's an ongoing sickness that exists in this world. But that's another story for another story. And yeah, they got to my brother, they got to my mother, and just completely flipped. They flipped. They just, you know, they don't call me. I don't talk to them. Every day that goes by, we don't talk to each other. We don't interact with each other. I just by myself, and I stay alone. And it's not only that, but it goes to, you know, it gets to people. It gets to people, you know, and whoever these people are, you know, I know who they are. They know I know who they are. But these people, they get to other people, and they manipulate people's ideas and their feelings about you. How they do it, who knows? Maybe they have, you know, some sort of remote control, but they do. And with me, with what it was with me was, you know, the child molestation thing, the little rumors. Hey, because I caught this one female. Her name is, she's on Facebook. Her name is Marie Colbert. And she put up this picture with this dude. It looked like it could have been one of these YouTubers that make spiritual videos. She put up a video about him and said that he was he did something to her child, or he and just made a long post about him. And I said, yo, and I stuck to her, like, yo, you can't put that type of information out about nobody. Don't do that. I stuck to her and went back and forth with her for a minute. And later on, you know, I'm not on her page no more. But she has a lot of stuff like disrespecting the government and disrespecting Masons and stuff. But this is what they do. They draw attention away from them by saying this person is that and this person is that. But it's actually them, you know. But she did. That was kind of crazy that she did that. So I caught her doing that. I seen that actually happens. So I confronted her, like, yo, don't put no information out about nobody like that. Why would you do that? Let the police deal with that. You know what I mean? And she said something, but this was a while ago. But I know that they do this. So it was brought to my attention that that's been done because of being prophetic, knowing the future. Like, oh, this guy's hitting me up. This dude that I grew up with, name was Woogie. He's confused. He's a confused individual, and he he said, "Kato, what's up?" This is what they used to call me. Yo, Kato was good, and the divine was like, "Yo, don't mess with this guy. Don't." You know what I mean, he's with them. So later on, a few years later, I start to have relations with uh, uh, um, this Hispanic girl. She was a Latin queen, and not only that, but one of the females that called herself a prophetess was talking about, the queens is going to be released in Hezekiah and such and such and such and such. But her son name was Hezekiah, and she was a Latin queen. So maybe this was prophetic, or maybe this was just part of the preparing you. We're going to try to set you up, where you could send somebody my way, and the way that I'm going to respond will be we will see what the outcome would be, and it actually happened. I met a female. She was Latin queen, and I got cool with her. Had some relations with her. She had a son. His name was Hezekiah. Like from the Bible, and he was associated with her sister. So he ended up telling her, like, yo, be careful, yo, mess with little girls. So she told me, like, yo, so you already know some people are not to be played with, and you cannot touch those that's anointed by a true and living God. And if you are anointed by a true and living God, then you better not mess with these people. These people are different. So it got back to me, and when it got back to me, I stepped to the people that he be amongst, because please don't play with me in no kind of way. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know about anybody else or the end result of anybody else, but those that play with me, if anybody to this day, bro, run up, I don't care who it is. If you have any kind of transgression against me, you will not see the light of day. You might even live, but you will not see the light of day no more. That is not no threat to nobody. That's just a promise. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be the end of your life, but you will not see the light of day again. But yeah, I stepped to him, and he came up to me, yo, Kato, I didn't say you. I thought she said Tashi. I didn't know she said. Oh, don't play with me, bruh. But you got to understand how this maneuvers through people, how it gets out into the masses of people. Because I've told you before about the other girl. That's she's this is another thing about these religions. The reason why I made that video the other day, I wouldn't have made it had these people done the right thing. If people was underneath these banners of religion and was doing the right thing with them, for you to say, oh, this is not even true, or that's not even true, that's you being a demon. That's you being demonic and being wicked and evil. But because they're not doing the right thing by the world and by the people, by upholding the word of God and doing righteous works, your righteous works is hidden underneath narcissism. But if they was, I wouldn't even, tell you, there's no proof of this. Moses never existed. That's the splitting of the Red Sea is when the moon is on top of the Red Sea and it looks like it's split. Or even if the sun was over the Red Sea, you would see a line down the middle of it. That's when it looks split. But because people aren't doing the right thing by these religions and upholding truth and righteousness and justice and balance, then I have had no choice but to, give you a breakdown of what it is. And it's not over with. I'm still going to give you a breakdown of what it is. You can call that being anti-that, or anti-Christ, or anti-Christian, or whatever. That's what it is. It's the truth. It's just somebody that's coming with the truth and letting that truth be known. But yeah, the girl, she's supposedly, Jesus is this and Jesus is that, but she's out here spreading lies and falsehood about you, and trying to set you up, and not saving people, but actually helping people get led down the wrong path and led to destruction. All of her friends ended up dying. I don't know whether she's a hitman for these people or what, but whatever it is that she does is never a good result. One of her friends just passed away last week. One of her friends, one of her people, and she deal with drugs and alcohol and sex parties and drinking and not caring. But you come underneath the banner of Christ, you be online preaching, talking about God this and God that, but you out here helping people be led to their demise. But yeah, she was amongst the people out here spreading lies and falsehood and not knowing that, the divine is going to show you and is going to be revealed to you. Whatever is done in the dark will come to light. So if you're going out here whispering to people, she's messing with my daughter, and it's only going to come back to me. It's only going to get back to me. And that's part of being prophetic. That's what it's part of being prophet. Some of us are really, 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 really prophets, and they try to throw you off. People try to keep you off balance so you don't be able to use that ability to prophesy or to foresee things. But you're always going to be able to foresee it because it's in you. That is in you, and it's part of your intuition. Like, there's females that believe that only females have that quality, but they fail to realize that we are all comprised of the same thing. Females aren't just females, they're masculine as well. Men aren't just men, they're feminine as well. So if I have that same quality in me, I can prophesy just as well as you can. I'm Virgo. I'm a real Virgo. Like, once you start dealing with signs and astrology, you will understand that there's two sides to astrology. You have the sidereal astrology, then you have the Vedic astrology. The Vedic astrology changes, while the Western astrology, which is called the sidereal, is fixed. So even though you're born in this month, that might not be your sign. Even though you might be born at this particular time, your sign might be over here at this time, and you might be this. That's because you're dealing with a fixed astrology as opposed to dealing with it in its original context, which it moves, it shifts. So as they shift, your sign, you might be underneath this sign this year, and the next year you might not. So with Virgo, what my birthday is, which is the 18th, I'm still underneath the sign of Virgo. Whichever, however it shifts, you're still going to be a Virgo. You're still going to be untouched. You're still your sign, your particular placement. You're going to be untouched. So you have that feminine aspect. You have that feminine quality in you. Some people don't know how to embody that feminine quality, so they become feminine as well. Like when it comes to men, they embody that feminine energy, and they want to, dress feminine. They want to become feminine. They want to become women. And this is what was told to me before, and it says, the men with the feminine qualities are still supposed to be men, but they're supposed to help the masculine men understand or embrace these qualities as well. But instead of embracing them, they become sexually in tune with them. So they defeat the purpose of helping man become a better people, because now I'm staying away from them homos. I'm not going to get this ability to nurture from these dudes and they're not going to get this ability to be men from me. So y'all stay over there, and I'm gonna stay over here. But when we do clash, it's something um, I want to say that's not you're not comfortable with being in the presence of them and receiving some sort of insight or wisdom from them that's going to help you um, excel or ascend to the next phase. So you stay stagnant. Men stay stagnant and women stay stagnant because they're picking on the men that's not being able to evolve. Yeah, men ain't nothing. I'm sorry, I bet you. Because you're picking on them as opposed to letting them see that, yo, man, y'all need help in some sort of way. We need to help each other. And I'm intuitive just because of that quality that I have. I don't have to act on it. I don't have to go around feminine like, no, I have a feminine quality in me that, it helps me to see things. It helps me to feel things. It helps me to care. It helps me to be a nurturer as opposed to, I'm being solid. I don't care about none of that. I care. And that's part of the qualities that you get by embracing that feminine aspect, the nurturer. Mom is a nurturer. She nurtures. And I was hit up one time by a Haitian woman, and she hit me up. It's in this tablet I got, but the tablet is broke. It's on a Motorola Zoom. The tablet is broke, and she hit me up. She was like, you seem like a chosen one. This is years ago. We talking at least around about 2000. I want to say at least maybe 15, maybe. Like, you seem like a chosen one. You have like a mother's love. You have like you're loving like a mother. And some people might get offended, but that didn't offend me because she was right. I do care. And she was like, some of the things you might have done is not because you were a bad person, but out of defense. And she's right. I don't go around hurting people and stuff like that. And I would do things out of in defense. So yeah, the girl went around telling people lies and falsehood. She just hit me up the other day, but like I said, about a week, about 2 weeks ago, one of the people that I met through her, passed away. Like she's just surrounded by nothing but death. Whether she's setting these people up or just being in the path with them to make them fall, that's just what it is. But not me. Because I know better, and I'm that protected. Like I could swim in the water with sharks with a bloody nose and a bullet hole in my leg, and still won't get touched. That's how protected I am. And that's not even being arrogant and cocky. That's just me. I've never been hurt. I got into it with the police. And it was Christians. It was Christian police. And I was telling him like, yo, bro, don't come at me, in the way that you're coming at me with that chain on, because you're not embodying Christ-like characteristics. Don't go tuck that chain in or do something. And they came and they assaulted me, and that didn't bother me. I didn't say, man, they beat up on me and they hurt me. I didn't say none of that. But they did, and that's the truth. Matter of fact, it's right here. They go to the conversations with me and their eternal affairs. Right here. I said, okay. I waited, and then they came back out and they told me I had to leave. And I said, you couldn't give me, I can't call anybody. I need to make a phone call because I don't know where I'm at. I'm in Totowa. I don't have my jacket. All my stuff was in my car. I don't have a phone. And she's the one that actually had the phone on her. So they wouldn't allow me to make a phone call. They told me
to leave the premises and walk down to Dunkin' Donuts and ask somebody to use their phone. And I said, that's not how you can that's not how you do it. You're supposed to allow me to get a phone call or call somebody so I can get to my destination. So they got belligerent, and I believe I told the guy he had a Christian chain on, and the way that he was conducting himself was unchristian-like. So I told him, like, yo, you should take that chain off because that's not Christ-like. You can't come and you can't. First he was disrespecting the girl, and then he told me unsympathetically, like, just leave the facility and go down, walk down there, go this way, go down that way. It's the Dunkin' Donuts right there. Ask somebody if you could use the phone. That's not, that wasn't sitting right with me. So I told him, like, you could give me one of your superior officers so I can use the phone because that's not, I don't know, because he was pretty young. And some people who don't know law don't know when they're violating your rights. So he came out, he went back in the room, and then he came back out. It was maybe around about 7 or 8 of them. And they was telling me belligerently to get off, excuse my language, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, yo, I'm not doing nothing. If I did anything wrong, lock me up, So they all was like, we gonna, I don't forget what they said, but whenever they got more aggressive, I put my hands up. Like, I'm not even a threat to y'all. Put my hands up. You'll see everything is on camera. And then they just all put their hands on me and just picked me up and threw me out the door. And it was a couple of officers that was just standing and just watching the event transpire. And after they threw me on outside, I got up. And when I got up, they pushed me back down. And I turned and looked at them. And I looked at my time. And I seen that it was 4:20. I said, don't y'all know that I can't do this? Y'all wrong. Everything is on camera that y'all doing. So I already indicated that, they was in the wrong. I didn't do anything. I'm just letting you know. I didn't do anything wrong to them. I didn't fight them. Nothing called for that force that they used. So this is the reason why I'm really making a issue. If I did something wrong, I wouldn't even be here, But yeah, it was really uncalled for.
Did something wrong, you would have been charged.
Right.
You didn't get arrested.
Right.
So.
And I indicate, I said, if I'm doing something wrong, if I'm in here doing something wrong, I'll give y'all the right to lock me up. It was cold out there. It was cold out there that day. If you go back to the 13th on that day, I had a jacket on. Like, we left the hotel to make a quick run. I guess she had to get something. And we was going back to the hotel. And I was unprepared. Like, everything was in the hotel. Everything. Like, my phone, my tablet, my jacket. I only had a light jacket on. So I'm sitting there, maybe, waiting for them to say, you need a phone, you need to call somebody, you want a cab, you got an Uber. So none of that happened. And they couldn't even let me stay there and wait till the buses started running because it was early in the morning. And they just got real belligerent with me.
Thanks very much for providing that. I just have a couple questions then, just to follow up with some of the things that you said. You said that night that you had initially interacted with the troopers as a result of a motor vehicle stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, was the trooper that stopped you initially, was she male, female?
It was a female officer.
Okay. And did that female officer, did she tell you why your vehicle had initially been stopped?
Mm-mm.
Well, just focusing at the scene, I want to kind of make it into two areas: what happened at the scene during the stop and what happened then later at the station, if that's okay with you.
I'm gonna be honest; it was nice at the stop.
Okay, well that's just about what I was going to ask you. Do you feel that the female trooper was Trooper Renteria? Do you feel that the female trooper Renteria treated you and your passenger with respect during the stop? Yeah. Did you have any issues at all with how you were treated with the stop?
No.
Okay. So there was nothing at all, at least as it occurred at the motor vehicle stop, that set off any flags or bells. Okay, no, that's good. They
was nice and they was cordial. It was the guy. I guess when we got there, he was, like I said, he was kind of young. And some people that's young, they really just think they're sometimes they get hot headed. And I believe that's what the case was, because he was the one that actually initiated.
Well, let me ask you this question then. That trooper that you had described with the Christian chain that was pretty young, was he at the scene?
No.
Okay, so he wasn't there.
Right.
Was the female trooper by herself when they stopped?
When she stopped me, yeah. And
Initially,
she
but
only
then-
came to the passenger.
That's the next question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
She came to the passenger, and she was, because the traffic was on this side, but she came on the passenger side, asked us for our information, and she began to, I guess she called back up, and then that's when they conducted everything. It was letting me know that, you just got your license is no good, and your registration is no good. We're gonna impound your car, but you're not in trouble. But she has warrants, so.
Okay.
And the next day I went to go bail her out. They took her to Morris Township.
Well, Morris County Jail, most likely. That's where they.
And I bailed her out from over there. So the traffic stop wasn't, I had no problem. It wasn't
problematic, is what you're.
Right.
And do you remember just offhand? It's okay if you don't. But how many troopers were out at the scene at that stop?
Maybe 3 of them. The initial one and 2 more came.
Okay, and you said once you had come back to Totowa, because you guys were kind of in flux and you were going to go pick up something, you had nothing on you. You said already,
Right.
I believe, that your phone might have been left at the hotel.
Right. My phone was in the car, but it was dead. But my tablet was at the hotel. My iPad.
Okay. Because normally troopers offer you the opportunity, or try to offer you the opportunity, and it seems like if everything was going professionally, they offer you the opportunity if you need any of your belongings from your car. Do you remember if the troopers asked you if you needed anything from inside your vehicle?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall.
So once you got back to Totowa station, substation, you had no phone,
Right.
no wallet?
Right. I had money on me.
Okay.
Like I had money. I had enough money to get back to my destination, or if you wanted to call me a Uber or something like that, I had enough.
So you had, in your estimation, and again, I understand that we're talking about something, but just when you say enough money, $200?
Yeah, $200. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's perfect. Thank you very much. When you got to Totowa, was there anyone inside the lobby with you, or it was just you when you were in there?
It was a few people in there. It was maybe a couple that was waiting for somebody to be released. Then they had left. Then another couple had left, waiting for somebody to be released. And then somebody had came in there, and I guess they was picking somebody up. So somebody was actually in the lobby at that time.
Okay. Now, around 4:10 to 4:20, when you said that you were removed from the building, we'll say, was there anybody in the lobby then?
Yeah.
There were still people in the lobby then. Okay. One other thing that you had said that I just wanted to circle back to too, you had said that the trooper that was young with the Christian chain had disrespected the girl. Which girl were you speaking about?
Ms. Hernandez.
And when did he do that?
He came out and he was talking about her. He was saying some nasty
To
stuff
you?
about her.
To other troopers,
just in general.
Okay, do you remember what he said to you?
It was just unprofessional what he said. Now, she's filthy or something like that. I don't know what it was, but it was something to that effect.
Understood. Do you remember what provoked him? What sort of was there a conversation you had?
He's the one that just came out and told me information, and that she was
going to be held instead of released.
Yeah.
And then just unprovoked or.
And I gave him my I gave him my telephone number just in case she couldn't get to her phone so she could contact me, because she might have needed me to come and get her out. So he actually gave her the phone number because she called me the next day. As soon as I got in the house, she had called me.
But he came out and just said that she's not going to be released, and then just again unprovoked, just started to say unprofessional stuff about her to you. Okay. Do you have for this trooper with the young trooper with the Christian chain? Can you give me any other description about him? What his race was?
He was Caucasian, short. He had kind of like goldish red hair, and that's about it. And like I said, that was like my only time interacting with him was when he came out and got the my number from me and telling me that she had that warrant.
But he wasn't the same. Was he the same trooper that told you, "Hey, you gotta get out, you know, leave"?
Yeah.
Oh, he was the same
Yeah, he
trooper
came
that
back out.
later came out after you had just kind of hung
Right.
out.
And that's the thing. I wasn't just hanging out. I'm waiting for either paperwork, something for my car. I'm waiting for the process to be, to resolve itself.
Okay.
But you understand? I'm still like, yo, I just got my cards up.
No, I know. And absent the fact that he's white,
Mm-hmm.
and when you say short, how tall are you?
I mean, he wasn't that short. I'm like maybe 6'1". So
Was he your height?
He was probably like around about 5'11", 5'10".
Okay, and you said 5'11", right in that area.
Mm-hmm.
What about his build? Was he? I'm somewhat skinny.
Yeah, no, he had a little bit more weight than I do.
He was
Mm-hmm.
muscular.
Mm-hmm.
You could say. Okay, and was there any other? You said short, gold or red hair, about the same. Like we have both kind of close
Mm-hmm.
cropped hair,
Right,
not
right.
about
It
the
was-
same kind of
right.
close crop.
Mhm.
Okay. And is there any other distinguishing features? And I know you've given me a bunch with his, and the Christian chain actually hung out of his uniform.
Uniform, yeah.
All right,
Mhm.
that's not something you see. Now it couldn't have been. It wasn't the tie tag, the state police tie tag. It was an actual chain that.
Yeah, because when he came out, he actually tucked it in.
Okay, you saw it first, and then he
Yeah.
kind of said, "Oh shoot, just like I have." It was kind of something similar to this, where it's a chain that might have been out accidentally. It
right.
wasn't something that he was specifically
Wearing,
wearing.
right.
Okay, no problem. That's a good. Is there anything else that you can tell me about him, just in terms of a description or anything to help identify him that stood out to you? Tattoos, glasses. I call anything that just pops out to you. Miss an ear, anything? Okay.
Just that he was kind of youngish. That's about it.
And
Probably
unprofessional.
20.
He was
Yeah.
unprofessional when he talked to you the first time. He was unprofessional when he asked you to leave.
Right.
He was unprofessional. Okay. At any point during this interaction and the time that you were at the station, did the troopers offer to call you a cab service? Any of the cabs that are in the area? Okay, they did not. And now, I guess the next question that would be: at any point, to the best of your recollection, did a cab actually show up?
No.
Okay. And at any point, did you have an interaction with a cab driver where you said that I won't pay unless the troopers pay?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's no interaction at any point that night, again, whether it's surveillance camera or anything else, of you of a taxi pulling up and you, to the best of your recollection, or you interacting with a cab driver.
Right.
Okay. At any point did you tell the troopers that you would not leave the station unless the troopers themselves drove you to your hotel?
No.
Okay.
I did ask them if they could do that, and he said they're not a cab company. Like, we're not a cab service.
Okay, but at no point did you say, I'm not moving from this spot unless you either take me?
No.
Okay. And at any point did you say to the troopers, I'm not going to leave unless you pay for my cab?
No.
Okay. All right. Now, that same trooper that came out, he then said, the same trooper with the cross came out and said, get out.
Yeah.
Okay. Did he explain to you why this was, or what was going on? Was this the same trooper that also told you to go to the Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah.
He just said, we're not going to help you in any way. There's a Dunkin' Donuts about 0.4 of a mile that way. Go that way.
And ask somebody, can you use their phone?
And this is all the same trooper again and again and
Right.
again. And this is pretty much, if I'm getting it right, this is up until the troopers all came out together in mass. This is the only trooper that you had interacted with.
Right.
Okay. Did you interact at all with the female trooper that
No.
originally? So she didn't
She
come.
didn't say any. She really wasn't saying anything.
And she didn't come out or
She
say,
was out there. She came
Or she
out, but
came out.
she wasn't a part of the people that actually was removed me from there.
Okay, so in all the group that did that, she was
wasn't,
not.
right.
Okay. Thank you for that. And all right. So we're up to the point where he's told you got to go to Dunkin' Donuts, which we're not talking about a bus, we're not talking about anything else. It's just
Right.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
You can get something to eat, but you can't and you tell them, I'd like you to call
Call somebody,
from
or
here."
give, or one of your superior officers.
Now, we have again, we'll just call him the Christian, the trooper with the chain. Did any of the troopers come out to help you or assist you in any way?
No.
Okay, so it's just pretty much that one trooper. He tells you that it's time for you to leave, you gotta go off our property, you gotta go to Dunkin' Donuts, you gotta go wherever, and what did you say to him?
I told him to give me a superior officer, because that's that's not how you conduct anything. So I told him, give me one of his superior officers.
Okay, and if there are any sergeants or supervisors
Right.
working, at any point did you speak to any of the sergeants or supervisors, anyone with any rank or that you
Not
would designate?
that I know of, but I
Okay.
believe that a couple of the people that came out was of rank.
Okay, and how would you distinguish that?
They was a lot older, and
Okay.
that's the only way I can distinguish that.
Just by age, not
Right.
by, did you see
Right.
any sort of rank or grade
I'm
insignia?
I'm not.
Anything on their
I'm not
shoulders or
sure,
arms? Okay.
because when they came out in a group, and the person that actually was leading the group was he was a Caucasian male, but he had his hair was dark. He had like black hair, and he was kind of young too. He kind of looked like Henry Rollins from Henry Rollins band.
I don't know who you're
so
talking
he
about.
was kind of
Old
like
Henry or young Henry?
the younger one.
The younger version when he was back in the
right,
90s?
yeah. So he
Okay.
kind of reminded me of him. So
And that, now not the trooper with the
cross,
crucifix.
right.
Now, this other trooper is
Right.
the one that
The
once
more
it's
aggressive
decided that, so
Yeah.
this was the more aggressive
Right.
trooper that came out, and he told you to get out as
yeah,
well?
but he was cursing like, "Get the fuck off our property! Get the fuck out of here!" Yeah.
Okay, and now, just walk me through what happens. These 7 or 8 troopers come out, led by the trooper that looks like
Right.
Henry Rollins. And they come out, and are you still sitting at that point? Are you
Mhm,
standing? So
still
you're
sitting.
sitting in a chair in the lobby.
Right.
And what happens then?
They was like, "Yo, get up!" And once they told me to get up, that's when I put my hands up.
And you stood up?
Mhm.
Okay, so they tell you to get up, they're acting and they're using vulgarities, they're using profanity. You stand up, you put your hands up.
Right.
And do they circle you? What
Right.
happens
They
next?
basically surround me, and then they just grab me and throws me out the door.
How many troopers?
At least around about 6 or 7 of them.
Okay,
I
and
believe
where did they grab you from?
from my arms and the back of my jacket I had. They picked me up. I'm light.
Were your legs too?
Hmm?
Did they
Yeah, they picked me up. They like had me like I won a game or something, and they was cheering me on. They picked me up and light.
So up over their shoulders, or
Yeah.
just like they were carrying you,
They
like
picked
you were
me up.
injured?
They picked me up, and I believe it was 2 officers that stood. The ones that stood by the door kind of like held the door slightly open, but they actually forced me out the door.
Did at any point did they hit you with the door? Or
Yeah,
did somebody open the door and hold it
Yeah,
open?
they had to force me out the door. Like the door wasn't wide open for them to throw me out. Like
they
I had to push me.
half held it, or
I believe so. I believe it was halfway held.
But at some point your body impacted that
The door, right.
Okay. And was it one door like that, or
It was 2 of them.
It was
2 of
double
them.
door.
Double door.
Okay. And now once they've hit you into that door and you've crossed the threshold outside that, what happens next?
Throw me on the ground, and once I got up, my back was towards them. And as soon as I get up, they push me back down.
How many troopers pushed you down?
I believe maybe it was 1. I believe it was the guy with the Henry Rollins looking guy with the black hair, and that's what made my foot swole, because my foot had clipped over on itself. It went this way. I'm standing with my back towards them, so when they pushed me, the foot,
Kind of caught up.
yeah, and that was like maybe the only thing that actually got hurt. I really don't make no big deal out of. Like, I never been hurt my whole life on this planet, and I heal quick, so I really don't make big deals out of anything. So
No, I understand. Once they push you, your foot gets caught underneath you, and you do hit the ground, what happens next?
I got up, and I told him, like, yo, why did they do that? I mean, like, because I have respect for these people. I respect officers because the position that they have is one that they protect us, and that not only that, but they serve us. So I know what it means to serve humanity. So these are servants of humanity. So I looked at them. I was like, yo, why would y'all do that? What would cause y'all to do that, especially to me? I mean, I told them, like, y'all my people. And they said, y'all not your fucking people. Get the fuck out of here. I was like, yo, and I looked at all the officers, and I just hobbled off. And I walked from over there. Like I told you, it was cold. So I walked from the facility.
Right.
And I got maybe to the end of, I'm not sure what the street is.
Minisink Road is the street.
Minisink Road, I got maybe all the way up to the, where you come down into there, and I stood there for a minute, then I walked back. And as I walked back, I seen that it was a bus, it was a 712. And I asked them, was he going towards Hackensack? And he was like, yeah, I can bring you out there. So he actually gave me a ride and didn't charge me anything, gave me a face mask, and that's when I got to the Hackensack station, and I took a cab from there to the hotel.
Okay. So obviously, not obviously, but once you said that you fell, you hobbled off and taken the bus. I'm guessing, I just want to confirm it though, you didn't go back to the station and ask for any medical treatment or say, hey, you hurt me,
No.
call me a first aid squad,
Right.
anything like that. Once the bus, you reach the bus, and the bus takes you to the cab, and the cab takes you to the hotel. You did say you're a fast healer, but did you go to the hospital? Did you go to a minute clinic or anything else like that? Okay. So you, at no point once you had left the station, you didn't seek any kind of medical treatment? All right. Did you take any photos or document your injury in any way?
I believe I got a photo of my foot, how swollen it was, but it's in my iPad.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I were to get your email address before you leave,
Right.
could you send that to
Sure.
me? Okay. Would you also be willing to sign a waiver today to release any medical records?
Okay.
Associated with, you said there
No,
weren't
yeah,
any
it's
medical.
no medical records.
Okay. And then just a couple questions, just some of the allegations that you're making are incredibly serious, so I just want to go over a couple of things. But if you weren't under arrest and you weren't going to be detained in any way, can you think of any reason the troopers felt any sort of need to physically remove you from the station?
No.
Okay. And I'm trying to get both sides of a story here, where you're saying obviously that the troopers acted unprofessionally
Right.
to you. If I were to speak to the troopers or look at the cameras or go over anything like that, do you feel at any point your conduct
No.
was in any way
No.
could be
No.
construed as negative
No.
or hostile?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's nothing
Not at
on
once.
your end that you feel at any point of the night where you said to them something unprofessional to them?
Right. The only thing that may have been, not even, but it was just that, you can't represent that and be this way, because I know the difference between being that and not being that. So I said, yo, bro, that's not Christian-like, man.
Okay.
I mean,
And again, if we were to look at, if we were to speak to the troopers or any sort of other records about a cab, there was no way that you had said, no, I'm not taking a cab unless you pay me for it. Okay. I'm trying to contact Ms. Hernandez for a witness statement, but unfortunately, the letter we sent to her house came back undelivered. Do you happen to have her telephone number on you?
I believe I do.
But yeah, it's a wicked energy that hates the goodness that's within you, and they try to trap you or try to make you or want to own you. And that's the thing about being owned. The righteous can't be owned. The truth can't be owned. The truth can't be controlled. Only the lie can be controlled. Because God gives you self-control, and whatever controls you is your God. If you're controlled by money, if you're able to get the money to be able to get you to do something outside of something that you know is right, then that's your God. Money is your God. If it's a drug that'll make you do something outside of anything that you know is right, or something that you won't do, then the drug is your God. If it's sex, whether it's food, whatever it is that will control you, that is your God, because God gives you self-control. It's right there in 2 Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7. I do not give you the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and self-control. These are the things that I give you. Without power, you couldn't have self-control. But I give you power. I place power in your hand. Whatever you give power to, that's what will control you. So if you want to give your power to these religions, or to this God or to that God, go ahead, by all means. But I give you power of self-control. So whatever controls you, that becomes your God. that becomes your God.